Ready. Ooh, hi.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio Podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
Hi, nice to have you back, GR Dad.
It's good to be back.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Excellent, excellent. The cocktail of the week this week is the Nervous Light of Sunday. It's a good name, right?
Wow, it's a poem right there.
Nervous Light of Sunday. It's gin, lemon juice, and simple syrup.
Okay.
And then a few different kinds of bitters. Luxardo bitters,
Wow.
old-fashioned bitters, and grapefruit bitters.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it would be tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why it's the Nervous Light of Sunday, but fair
Great
enough.
name. Great name.
Yes. It sounds all quivery, though. It sounds like a drink that would make you
It does.
quivery.
All right. Administrative corner.
Oh, I love Administrative Corner. I haven't had this since... Go ahead.
You guys, the P.O. Box.
Can I make the joke about being this year and last year?
Go ahead.
For a year.
Go ahead.
'Cause I haven't heard it for a whole year.
You done?
Yes. Thank you.
So the UPS store was closed for a bunch of days because this is the keys, and you know they deserve their rest. So I went in this week, and when they finally reopened, I was like, "Hey, I'm here to pick up the packages for PO Box 202," and they like gave me a couple packages and a bunch of Christmas cards, and I was thanks, bye, and they're like, "No," and then they brought me like 8 boxes of
Whoa.
presents that you guys have sent us.
Whoa.
There was some amazing stuff in there, and I'm trying to send thank you notes to everybody, but I want to thank everybody here. We got like a whole box of stuff from the friend of the squad who lives in Maui of these like amazing Hawaiian treats. I've been eating the cookies out of that box all day.
Wowie.
Somebody sent a box of Mothman candies.
That's
They're like
really funny.
turtles, right? Like caramel with chocolate on them. And then there's like some pecans in there. There's a pretzel on the back, and then 2 red M&Ms for its big red eyes. The glee that I experienced with these Mothman candies. I love Mothman so much.
I know. You get so happy with anything Mothman related.
I'm just such a fan of Mothman. Oh my God.
I
So
don't
many
think
good
he's
things.
real.
Listen, that's what they want you to think. No, Mothman is absolutely a crane, but we don't need to talk about that. I like Mothman.
I think it's an alien.
And there's so much good stuff. Somebody sent me, you haven't even seen this yet because I washed it and put it away, this shark t-shirt, and he's wearing
Whoa.
a Santa hat and it says sexy beast on it. They like made me this shirt. It just came and it didn't have any info about who it was from. It just came
Wow.
to the PO box. So
That's
that
hilarious.
was you. Thank you. I can't send you a thank you email because it didn't include a note or anything.
It wasn't me.
No, I'm sure it was not.
It was not.
Anyway,
I would just give it to you.
thank you guys so much for all the prezzies. It was like a bonus Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good since I wasn't even there.
I mean, that's true. You got to open some of them, though.
You need to get all the gifts you can.
Why don't you get any?
Oh, because I was the one who's gallivanting around. You were the one who
Gallivanting around Europe.
left behind. Germany specifically and actually solely. Yes. Yes, gallivanting.
Yeah. Okay, dog updates. Oh,
Yeah, Hops is very needy. Hops.
Hobbs is like making like flat-eared sad face with some little squeaks at me. You want to go out, Hobbs? All right, we gave Hobbs a carrot.
A roasty.
Oh, well, good job, Hobbs. All right, dog updates.
Wait, aren't we still in Administrative Corner?
Oh, do you have anything?
Venkman plushie.
There's no update on the Venkman plushie.
They were making them at some point.
There will eventually be Venkman plushies.
I find this exciting.
Okay,
That's all.
excellent. Someday there will be, and you all will know.
I don't know what's administrative and not. I'm just going to blurt stuff out. And you're going to
Clearly.
tell me that it's for ramblings. And I'm like, I'm rambling on Administrative Corner. It's fine. Okay, go ahead. That's all I had.
All right, dog updates for this week. So Ingo was in Germany, and then Ingo flew from Germany back to DC.
Yes.
And because the flights worked out, he stayed for a night at our house in Maryland and then flew back.
Yes.
And I was like, Ingo, I would like you to bring these shoes of mine back with you. They're up in Maryland. And don't you throw that ball.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't throw it.
You kind of threw it.
Rolled.
I like how I'm like, Ingo, I would really like it if you don't throw the ball in the house. And he was like, I rolled the ball in the house. I technically didn't throw the ball.
It is a problem.
All right. So I was like, Ingo, could you please bring these shoes back? And we FaceTimed. We found the right pair of shoes, and Ingo brought them back to me. And I put them down on the couch when we got home from the airport in Key West. And then we were...
I think I did put them down on the couch. I think I put them on the couch.
Oh. I mean, one of us did. I have no memory of it.
I remember taking them off the floor, and I put them on the couch.
Not that it made any difference, it turns out.
The foreshadowing.
Because we are going about our day, and I was walking through the living room, and Remy was chewing vigorously on something, and I was thinking it was like a ball.
I think he was making sure to face away from you.
He was facing away.
Yeah,
and
he was.
I was like, oh, what? Does he have the avocado again? Is he chewing on it? And I come around his front, and he has absolutely shredded the heel of these shoes, like the high heel, the part that your heel actually stands on. Not only is the covering missing in him somewhere, the leather part is chewed up, the pad is... I've had these dress shoes. They are actually the first pair of kind of going out heels that I bought after I got divorced in 2008 or 9.
They're very pretty.
They're beautiful. They're turquoise Kate Spade strappy go out shoes.
It's a little sparkly.
Yeah. And he ate them, and they are absolutely not replaceable. I did go look on Poshmark because sometimes you can find stuff there, and there's a couple pairs of them, but they're not my size.
Oh.
So they're not even close to my size.
Oh, we're gonna have to modify your feet.
Yeah. And they're not if it had been a black heel, I could take it to a cobbler and they could fix it. But it's like a turquoise snake print with gold flecks in it.
Can't match that. No.
Cannot. So they're dead now, and it's Remy's fault, and he ate them, and now he's my enemy.
He doesn't feel sorry at all. He's blissful about all this.
Stop it! Stop that noise!
Stop being so whiny, Hops.
Man, she is wound up tonight.
Yeah, she is, but she doesn't want to go outside.
No.
She does this thing where we walk up to her to offer her to open the door for her, and she rolls on her back.
Yep. She's like, no.
It's we're not doing anything to you. We're just offering. No.
Oh my God.
She's bad.
Other dog updates. Cheds has officially been adopted by the people who took over his foster from us.
No surprise. He's a great dog.
He's so good. I'm so happy because they loved him so much and he loved them back. They set up an Instagram account for him. And when I tweeted it last night, they had 13 followers. And as of right now, let's see, his Ched's Big Cheese. He has 6,731 followers. You can follow him on Instagram. It's Ched's, CHEDZ, Big Cheese. Ched's Big Cheese. He's like a dog wearing a cheese head.
And it's cold up where he is, so he gets the opportunity to model clothes like sweater and booties.
He's back in Maryland now where it was 70 degrees today, but he spent Christmas in Minnesota where it was minus 30.
He seems to have been thriving.
He loves his booties in his little jackets.
That's so cute.
He's doing great. So anyway, they officially adopted him. I am so thrilled for him. So that's good news. And we get updates on him now.
Yes, this is very good.
I mean, I text with his mom pretty much every day, but then also you all can get updates. And Nacho C. Fry, it's officially been 2 months since he got adopted by his new people. And so I have to, when we adopt them out through the rescue, you do a 2-day, 2-week, and 2-month check-in. So I was like, hi, it's time for my 2-month check-in. How's everything going? And she took 12 hours to respond, and she's like, oh my God, it's so good. And she sent me all these pictures, and he's laying in the bed and asleep on somebody's lap and going for walkies, and he's just having a great time, and they love him, and it's all good. So there you go. Nacho C. Fry living his best life. And it's awesome how much more relaxed he is in a house with one dog that's less chaotic.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be just running around all the time.
He also apparently is great friends with their son's dog, Gouda. That's actually the son's dog's name.
He's a Gouda dog. So good. Yep.
That's all I got for dog updates. Vink is doing fine. Hops, other than being a whiny little bitch tonight, is doing fine.
Literally.
Guac is doing good. I mean, we talked about some updates last week when you and I talked. There hasn't really been
Brody's swimming more now.
Now that you're back.
He likes to float around.
Yep.
He's quite good at inserting himself into the water, and he with some boosting gets back out.
Yeah.
And then he goes dirties himself. Dirty-faced man.
All right. So under ramblings, I have written down one thing to discuss. Meat pretzel. So Inko sends me these pictures from Germany, and it's this little like packet, and in the packet are like 5 or 6 pretzels, but the pretzels are made out of salami.
Of Wurst. Yeah. It's like
And I was like, bring those home. We need to talk about it.
Good German things.
And he's like, I'm not going to bring it home. And I was like, we need to talk about this. These meat pretzels.
Yeah, I think it's good. We can talk about it. I ate them.
Please explain them. Explain your countrymen, and then tell us how it was.
At the border, they always ask, are you bringing in, food from Germany? And I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I brought in these meat pretzels. They'll be like,
That's fair, actually.
We have to have the agriculture folks look at these meat pretzels.
I didn't think about the border part. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think it's a good combination of a lot of good German things. Pretzels, baked goods, and
were they baked?
Wurst. No, pretzels are. Just pretzels. You're still. It's an homage to pretzels, but you're getting your Wurst, your little salty meat snack.
Oh my God.
I had a lot of Wurst while I was there.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your visit. You don't have to do all the gritty details.
I just went around and visited family and close friends, and I stayed in 1, 2, 3, 4 homes in 8 days. So
oh my God,
that was a lot of couch time for me.
I told Ingo, I'm like, if I had come on this trip, I think by the end of the first day, I would have been on the train to Paris and been like, bye, see you later.
Yes, it would have been. If you and I are traveling, we'll travel totally differently. With me, it's like, everything's. I just kind of hang out, and everyone expects everyone to sleep in the houses of the people you're visiting.
See, this is a thing that just like makes me not trust your judgment.
I think it's that's fair, but I think it's my family, not Germans at all, right?
I think
there
that's
are
correct.
Perfectly fine hotels in Germany that get perfectly well used. I don't think everyone stays with each other.
I don't think like there are no boundaries is just a general German characteristic.
That's right.
It is your family problem.
But definitely, yes, agreed.
But every day, Ingo would call me and tell me stuff. I mean, we didn't talk every day, but when we did, every time you would call me, you'd tell me stuff. And then I'd be like, it's so good that I'm not there. If I were with you and like forced to endure that whole thing, that's just not how I am. I absolutely would have left at some point.
Yes.
Because just every single thing made me so uncomfortable. But if I had been forced to, your entire family would hate me, and we would probably be talking about getting divorced, because I would have just been, I would have snapped over and over so many times at so many people.
Yeah, if you were forced to do this trip under those conditions, that would be a terrible thing to force you to do.
It would be.
It's like a thing that all the things you hate bundled into one little trip. That would be really bad.
It would be awful.
It's like, a demon in hell could not design a better hell for you than this trip.
That is true.
Like no boundaries, weird bathroom doors, or like curtains, and just like all the shower heads are little tiny things you can take off and use with your hand. And
listen, I appreciate that you're glad to be back to American showers and whatever, but like I can cope with the physical infrastructure part just fine, even if it's like maybe not my favorite thing. What I cannot cope with is like, can I tell a story about your Christmas Eve?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So Ingo and Eva, Ingo's daughter, fly out of here on the 23rd. They get to Germany on the morning of the 24th. Where are you going on the 24th? You're going to your brother's house. How do you know this? Because your ex-wife told you. How did your brother know that you're coming to his house? Because his ex-wife told him, because your mom decided you were all going to go to your brother's house. And instead of telling either of you that, she told your ex-wives, who neither of you are friendly with.
It's a very complicated
ex-wives texted you guys to be like, you're going to your brother's house. The brother, Ingo's mom did not ask the brother if they could come there. She just declared that they were coming, and she did not tell him. She just told his ex-wife. So the brother and his fiance already had plans to go to the fiance's parents' house on Christmas Eve, And speaking the fiance's parents, the dad's in the hospital.
Dad gets brought to the hospital like within days of it.
So it's the fiance's mom, whose husband is in the hospital, who's expecting your brother and her daughter, and Ingo's mom, who's like, we're going to the brother's house, and the brother's like, we're going to my fiance's house. Mom's like, great, we'll all come with.
We know them.
She doesn't ask them. She just is like, okay, well, she's expecting the two of you, and her husband's in the hospital, so why not have 4 more people come over, and you will host us all for Christmas Eve. Yeah. I wouldn't have made it out of the airport. We would have landed in Frankfurt, and I would have learned that was the plan, and I would have been like, I'm just going to get on the next plane and come home. And then it's like, okay, and that's what they did.
The mother-in-law was very nice.
Oh my God. That does not make it any better. And then they're like, okay, we're going to go stay at the hotel near the brother's house. But did she make any reservations ahead of time? No.
No, it turns out it's closed now.
They just show up.
It's closed.
They just show up at the hotel on Christmas Eve like fucking like Mary and Joseph. And there's no rooms at the inn.
The inn is closed. It now houses Yugoslav refugees.
And honestly,
supposedly,
the manger might have been better than your brother's house, which is being renovated. It has 1 working bathroom, and
for 6 people.
For 6 people, but there's like, it's not like it's set up for guests. They're like there's rooms that are like there's no drywall. The bathroom is a zinc drywall. Like they're working on their house. They're not set up to have 6 people staying there with their 1 working bathroom. Now, the brother lives in Saarbrücken. There's like 200,000 people who live in Saarbrücken. There are many, many hotels, but instead they just show up at the one that's closed, and they're like, meh. We'll just stay at your house then, as opposed to like, oh, we could look up one of the like 500 other hotels in this city. Nope. We're just going to stay at your house for 2 days.
My brother's like, I don't want you guys driving drunk. So, just stay here.
There are Ubers. There are cabs.
Not on New Year's.
Yes.
Not on Christmas.
Yes, there are.
Probably.
You guys.
Cabs?
I would have.
Some big city thing.
There's 200,000 people in Saarbrücken.
It feels smaller.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And this was just the start. This was the first 24 hours of this trip.
It was weird. And then she gave us presents. Like, I didn't have presents for her. I wasn't planning on giving presents to my brother's
you get into these
mother-in-law.
logistics in the shower heads and whatever, and you miss that, like, those things are not the deeply problematic part of this. I told my therapist about this. Like, you told me about this Christmas Eve, and then I was like meeting with my therapist later that week, and he's like, oh, is Ingo having a good time? And I was like, Therapist Dave, let me tell you about his Christmas Eve. And I told him this story, and his like mouth just hung open. And then when I talked with him this week, he's like, sometimes you tell me stuff and I just like cannot believe that thing happened. Like, I believe you, and I just can't believe that that's how their Christmas Eve went. Like, this guy whose job is to listen to people who have wild shit happen to them could not believe the insanity of your mom and these plans for Christmas Eve.
You got it. The word plans is doing a lot of work.
Absolutely correct. Yeah. The way that she handled this. But I mean, she did plan it because she texted your ex-wife about it.
This is why I'm so bad at logistics and communication.
Did we mention on the podcast about the birthday email? Can we mention that? I don't want to be airing all of the secrets.
You can throw this in there. It's good background.
We can drop it out. I can just go back.
No, it's fine. No one in my family knows what a podcast is.
So my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and they sent a birthday email, like a happy birthday email, to Ingo's email, which is totally fine. Like, I've maybe emailed with them once, and the email was addressed Dear Jane. And it's like, okay, it could be just like an autocorrect, but no, the subject line was like happy birthday, capital J, space.
It was space.
Capital A, space, capital N, space, capital E. Not autocorrected. They took the time to spread it out to make it look cool twice. They did not use my correct name either time in the email. They used the incorrect name both times.
And then she sent like an apology text like a day later.
She did?
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry, I just read what I had sent in the email, and whoops.
It's only been 12 years that we've been together.
Yes, and they have spelled it correctly in the past.
Yep,
in their defense, I think she was doing it for her, doing an email, and didn't get it proofread.
Twice. They used the wrong name twice.
Yeah, I think it was her. I think it was not a communal decision. I think she was just doing it herself.
2 times.
Yes.
Forgot my name.
Yeah. Well, boldly said the wrong thing twice with nary a thought that she might be wrong.
But she's texting your ex-wife about your Christmas Eve plans. She didn't text me about your Christmas Eve plans.
Probably gets her name
Doesn't
right.
even know my name.
Probably gets her name right.
I bet she does. I am actually not upset by any of this. Like, my feelings are not hurt. I only talk to your parents when they come visit.
No, you're just gleeful you weren't on the trip.
There are so many, like, this really is just the first 24 hours. And there are so many things where I'm like, if I had been there, I absolutely, like you saw me lose my temper in Germany once, the time that we were trying to get the Black Forest cake and the old ladies pushed me out of the way.
Yeah.
And it like, the incident itself was like slightly frustrating, but it was like a pile up of like 3 days of frustrations, kind of like this. And I really lost it.
But it wasn't necessarily my family. This was just Germany.
No. It was like, no, we spent a kind of pretty perfectly normal time with your family, but there was just a lot of frustration that had built up. And like me finally like maybe finding the thing I'd been looking for, and then all these like old ladies just coming in and pushing me out of the way.
Eating it.
And yeah, so this isn't a like your family thing, but I was like, do not talk to me. I'm gonna be like, I gotta say all this stuff that's wrong. And I'm like, I know this isn't your fault, but this is the worst thing that I've ever had to put up with. It's not that I don't like traveling abroad. I like it very much, but there were just a lot of things on that trip, and this trip was like a compressed version of it with a lack of respect for boundaries, and I would have absolutely lost my shit so many different times on that trip and said a lot of things that I would not have been able to take back. Not that I would disagree with myself on those things, but because I know better than to say them. Yeah.
It's good you don't disagree with yourself about these things.
I mean, I'm not a person who says things that I don't mean in an argument, right? I don't go like, not that we argue that much, but if we do, I'm never like, Ingo, I never liked you in the first place, and I secretly think you're stupid or something. Like, I don't say stuff to like hurt your feelings that I don't.
You don't.
Yeah,
say stuff
I mean,
to
I don't.
win.
You don't do that either.
I like to win.
Do you ever win when you're having arguments?
Absolutely not. No, I believe the saying is, "You always win."
Always wins. I mean, the goal of when we do have arguments, the goal is never to win. The goal for me, the goal is like the goal is actually worse for you, because I'm like, I'd like to really talk through this and like understand the origins of this problem and sort it out so we can like get to the root of the issue, and then this isn't going to come up again.
I'm getting stressed just listening to that.
But yeah, so I don't say like mean things in an argument just to hurt people's feelings. I try not to hurt people's feelings, but when I lose it, like I will absolutely like lay down in the harshest way what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to hear that either. It would have been bad. It's very good I didn't go.
That was only the first night.
That was only the first night. I mean, through you being in customs on the way back, and we don't need to talk about that, I was just like, this is all so terrible. It's all so terrible. It's so good I didn't come. I would have destroyed all of the meaningful relationships in my life. Oh my God. I'm so glad you're back, and I'm so glad I didn't go with you. And it was a good lesson, like from afar, that I should never go with you on one of these trips. Like, we can go to Germany. I have a great time in Germany with you.
Yeah.
But it should be a different trip
right.
than visiting your parents.
Of course. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. As it was, I drank a lot of beer and wine and ate a lot of wurst of various kinds. That's about it.
Could you please enumerate the kinds of wursts that you ate?
Mostly olive wurst, which is a local regional wurst that is made out of most of a pig. Just like, imagine taking a pig, putting it in a meat grinder, and putting it in a into cow guts, and then letting it.
Casing. It's casing's the word.
Yeah, casing, and then you smoke it for a while, and you let it dry for a month and something, and then you can slice it and eat it. We had some
Olive wurst.
Leverwurst, which is a word for old. It's like slang for old sausage.
Oh, that's advertising.
But now it's a trademark, and they're very proud of it, and it's a very regional thing from North Hessia. We also had some Met or gehacktes, which is just raw pork that you just use it to smear on bread.
Wait, I'm sorry. We got to back up like 3 steps. Raw pork.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't eat that.
Well, you have to eat it right away.
You shouldn't eat it even right away.
You do eat it. It's delicious. The French eat it too, tartare.
That's beef.
Well, maybe this is poor person's tartare.
There's a big
Germans
difference.
can't afford beef.
Eating raw pigs.
What do you want? What do you want from us? All we have is pigs.
Die from that. I want you to cook it. I want you to cook the pork.
No. It's the tastiness is because it's not cooked. You put pepper on it and onions.
All right. So we've got you might die from raw pork.
Nah.
And it's a spread.
Well, you just spread it on, put it on bread and eat it.
Normally meat is not spreadable.
Well, it's ground up. Mm-hmm. It's like tartare. It's like the raw hamburger meat. It's a lot like raw hamburger meat, except it's pork. Actually, so if you just take that,
added
you put
risk
it on
of
bread.
death.
Nobody's ever died from this.
From raw pork?
In Germany? Nah.
I'm just seeing Google here. Raw pork death Germany. Oh, here we go. 2 consecutive large outbreaks of Salmonella.
Oh, geez.
Munchen linked to pig farming in Germany.
Oh,
Is
geez.
something missing in our regulatory framework? Says this article on Eurosurveillance, the journal Eurosurveillance.
Yeah, we have to survey. We have to regulatory it more. Then the pork will be cleaner.
2 outbreaks of Salmonella linked to German pig farms. Legislators should consider tightening rules on Salmonella in primary production following 2 large outbreaks in Germany in recent years.
Maybe they should outlaw Salmonella. Come on. That's what's missing. Salmonella prohibition.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it's delicious. It's freaking great.
Is it Met?
METT? Yes. Yes. It's good stuff. Is that what it was in Munich too?
I don't know. This is just someone says, do Germans eat raw pork for breakfast? That's a Quora question. And they're like,
yes. Yep. Also Weisswurst. My mom made that the first night, I think, or for lunch.
Yeah.
Which is, out of her region, but it's tasty. And then just, bacon for or not bacon, ham for breakfast, or like a bologna. Ooh, Wurstsalat. I had Wurstsalat. Wurst salad.
We had a whole talk, you and me and Eva, about salad. Other types of salad.
It's basically bologna sliced into like thin strips and then put in mayonnaise and smooshed around.
Yeah,
put a couple of gherkins in there.
It was like, we had 3 different kinds of salad while we were here. Potato salad.
Yes, pasta salad.
Wurst salad and pasta salad. And I was like, none of those are actually salads.
I don't think I had anything green for 9 days. I think it was all off-white or meat colored.
Oh my God.
But I don't think I had a salad. There were no side salads. We went to an Italian restaurant once, and some people had salads. I did not have a salad.
You didn't want any. You're like, no green for 11 days.
I had pasta. That was pretty good. That was almost like
green.
A salad.
If it's green, it's been hanging around with the raw pork too long.
Mm.
Gross.
My brother did make a sandwich where he just took a root of ginger, like
raw ginger
with dirt still on it, and just cut slices off of it, put it on a piece of bread, and ate it. He had butter on it too. Buttered it, put the ginger on there. You got to put butter so it sticks, and then just chomped it like a sandwich.
I mean,
it was weird.
I don't think this is disgusting or gonna kill you like the other stuff you've talked about.
He wasn't doing it like on a dare or anything, like to impress anyone. He's like, this is just what I do. He did it on 2 days.
But raw ginger is like extremely tough and
Chewy,
fibrous.
and
It's
also
hard to even slice it.
Spicy. I don't know. He wasn't putting sugar on it either. I'd put sugar on it at least. Did not.
It's just hard. It would be really hard to chew it.
It was just the big thing in Germany this winter was pulpo. Everyone's eating pulpo, which is just octopus sliced.
Oh,
Pulpo.
I mean, is it also raw?
Maybe it's pickled. I think it's pickled.
octopus.
Raw pickled.
Gross.
Yeah, we were grilling it on our little table grill for
Oh yes, yeah.
Christmas Day dinner.
Well,
Yeah. Raclette, but not really because you're just grilling meat. That's not raclette.
you didn't have like little cheese or
We also had
veggies
little
or stuff,
cheese trays
but
and
not for the raclette.
that was the raclette. We'd have cheese trays, but we also had meat slabs that we put on top of the raclette grill. It was a very complicated amalgam of things. It was a mixture. But meat heavy. It turned out meat heavy.
This
It was
is
something.
when we're in Germany, like a big part of why I'm crabby, I think it's because there's nothing for me to eat.
No,
It's Käsespätzle every fucking day. Which, not that there's anything wrong with Käsespätzle, which is like macaroni and cheese, but I don't want to eat that every day.
No.
It's hard to find a vegetable.
we could go to an Italian restaurant, but that's a whole production.
I found a kebab place once and I was like, falafel, yes, like it gives me life. They were like laughing at how excited I was
Yes.
to have like a falafel sandwich and
Oh
a
my
pita
God.
with some veggies.
Also, the struggle to get Diet Coke is real.
Oh, I mean, Coke Light in Europe is delish.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. All right. I don't mean to come down on your homeland, but again, I'm very glad I didn't come on this trip.
It just sounds like it. You just hate all our food.
German food, not really made for people like me. I like pretzels. I like Berliners. You've got good bread there. I don't like all the bread, but you make good bread.
One realization I did have, which is a comment on all of this, is that I realize that what I'm experiencing is not Germany writ large, right?
Quite.
If my family ever went to actual cities or had grown up in more cosmopolitan places, I think we would be, eating falafels or, kebabs or, understanding that you can go shopping at different times or whatever.
I
right?
feel like this is the
No
argument
big city.
we have all the time where I'm like,
Yeah.
you kind of travel around these pockets of
They're
very
very
rural.
small. The one town I was in, guess how many people live there?
How many?
328.
I mean,
And that's been since like 1100. There's been 328 people in this town. Different 328, but
yeah. You go to these like little German villages and I'm just like, if you were to make it like, okay, like here's someone in the US and they live in this like small rural town and they travel around the middle of the country and they only go to other towns, American towns that have 300 people in them, and then they're like, this is what America's like, and there's no Walmart, they would have a similar description of America that you have to Germany, because everything does close early and you can't go to places on this, and there's like weird old rules there. Like that's true in like tiny town America too. Not that it's the same thing, right? But like you never go to cities with your family.
No.
And like even when you're in Saarbrücken, which is like a pretty big place, it's like
no, we're like in the.
It's like there's your
one
brother's
little
house
town that's
and the
outside.
train station
Yeah.
and the one hotel.
Well, he lives in a village outside now too, so it's like a suburb.
And there's just like, but it'd be so easy to like go the extra little distance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is why I'm always like, that's not how, like, what about Berlin? You think there's nothing open in Berlin?
No, it's the opposite.
But it's just like, you're
Berlin's
just
like
in
New
these little
York. Everything's open all
Of
the time.
course.
Yeah.
And Frankfurt and all
Yeah.
these places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the biggest town I went to was, I think, Münster. But I don't know if it's bigger than Saarbrücken. But we actually went into Münster.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we had Italian food. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Italian food, man.
No. But it was also the timing, right? There's like a lot of weekends in my trip. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day were both on a Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of, that's like double secret. Nobody wants to work.
Yes.
But so, I don't know. But my admission is that this is not representative of all of Germany.
Yeah.
Hamburg. Oh, I'm sure stuff's open. Munich would have been fine.
Yeah.
We don't go there.
No. No, you don't.
We go to small places.
There's nothing wrong with going to small places. It's just like maybe not an accurate representation of like how life is for all Germans.
Correct. That's right.
And especially with your parents who are in their 80s and also live a weird kind of
resistant to change.
Yeah, if you just hung out with 80-year-olds in the U.S. and like went to the places they want to go, you'd have a weird impression of like how life is too.
Well, we live in a Cracker Barrel. Great. This must be what America's like. And it's not actually. When it's not. We go from Cracker Barrel to Waffle House. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a lot of it. Yeah.
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 Okay. Anything else that you want to add for ramblings?
Wait, ramblings.
We're in ramblings.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, I think that's about it. Oh, I did buy a sweater there.
Oh, you guys, we'll post a picture of this.
I cannot get my head around German style and color and fashion choices. I mean, it's a broad spectrum, and there's a lot of overlap where it's like fine, right? It's
Listen,
like
you're shopping with 80-year-old people at stores they like in little rural corners of Germany. Which colors is? I bet in Berlin there's some very cosmopolitan shops where you could buy a very attractive sweater.
That's right.
This was not that sweater.
You can go to a Camel store, like the cigarette, and you can buy pretty good stuff that has cotton in it.
This sweater, Ingo's like, I got an ugly German sweater, and I'm not going to show it to you until I'm home.
Yes, and you were like, show it to me. I said, no.
And then he got it home, and it is as ugly as anticipated and itchy. I just looked at it, and I was like, oh, it looks so itchy.
It's a wool sweater.
It's so itchy. I'll post a picture of it on Twitter.
It was the best looking sweater in that store, because I sent you a ton of pictures of things that were worse.
Oh, yeah.
That were worse.
This one's real bad. But you wore it. And then all the Germans were like, that's a very nice sweater.
It was very amusing.
Du siehst so gut aus.
Yes, they're like, oh, that's a nice sweater you got. My mom was hell-bent on buying me a sweater because I'm a 12-year-old boy, apparently.
Kind of you are with your parents.
And she's like, I want to get you an early present. And
wait, that's like a present, not like, oh, poor Ingo is so cold, I'm going to buy you a present of a sweater?
It might have been the cold. She kept saying, you're cold. And I'm like, I know I'm not cold.
This is very much your mom.
She's like, no, I know you're cold. And I'm like, no, how do you know? I am not cold. She's like, well, you must be cold. And so I'm going to make you buy a sweater.
Oh, this is like this kind of thing is
so I got out of there. I picked the least ugly sweater very quickly and get the hell out of there.
I have like, if you want to push Jen's
button. It was so bad.
It's where I go like, I feel this way, and someone goes, no, you don't.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you don't feel like that way. You feel this way that I've decided you should feel. Like, if you want to, like, see angry Jen, that's the way to do it. That's why I would have lost my shit over and over on this trip. I also would have been like, I don't want your goddamn sweater. Every sweater in this store is the ugliest sweater I've ever seen. I don't know how any of you people live here. I don't know what's wrong with you and how you lost any sense of fashion taste that may have passed through your life at some point. Maybe you just watched it go the first time it came in, but this is some bullshit. You are all ugly human beings with ugly ass clothes, and I don't know why you live here. I don't know why I'm here, and I'm leaving. That's what would have happened in the store.
You look cold.
People
would have been like, fair enough.
All right.
Why are you so angry? Just buy a sweater. Get out.
Americans are so angry. It must be because they're so cold. Oh my God, I'm
also,
sorry.
my parents pay for everything in cash still. It's still
because they're 80.
They can't work credit cards or credit card machines. It's a major project.
Oh my God. All right, I'm sorry. I keep making this about me, but I'm just so angry about all of it. And I wasn't even there. I'm going to talk to my therapist about this again.
When I was flying back on a United flight from Frankfurt to Dulles Airport in D.C., I was getting off the plane, and to get off the plane, you go through a business class sort of galley to get to one side, get out the door that's open. And someone, this is a flight from Germany, had left a homemade sandwich that was clearly from like the dark sourdough bread and wrapped in like, I think it was wrapped in a napkin, but like carefully wrapped and carefully folded. And then like one of those plastic containers of ham that you get in the grocery store with like 3 of the ham slices still in there, and had put it on the like counter of the galley as they were leaving. Like they didn't throw it away. They're like, maybe somebody can use this because I didn't get to eat my sandwich. I need to get to eat my boat. You were probably sitting in business class and you're bringing your ratchet boat.
Roll and
It's not a roll. It was just flats. It's bread. Yeah.
Okay. You ready for Taste of the Keys?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like nothing to talk about. I mean, the migrants are coming.
I mean, that's a big story to talk about. It's just everyone knows about it.
We've talked about it. The migrants are coming every single day.
But they closed down Fort Jefferson, right?
Because like 300 people came.
Which is the worst place to go because it has no water.
Yeah. It's all very sad that they're just not letting them all stay, but we don't need to talk about it. But I do have one little side story. So Key West police officer Matthew Hansel, it was his birthday, and they threw him a birthday party, and they got him a cake made, and the cake has like a, you can get like a photo on the cake, and it's his dog, Dexter.
His canine, I think, right?
Yeah.
And
it's like partner. A nose focused big Snoop.
Oh, it looks
picture.
Great. It's like fisheye on the nose. It's great.
Yeah. Somebody said it was a boop cake.
Yes, like the police chief of communications said it's a boop cake.
Boop cake. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Dexter. So Gwen Filosa, friend of the squad, intrepid reporter for the Keys, says it's K9 Dexter's big nose, and I'm happy to post about it. She has a picture of the cake.
Yep.
It's a dog face cake.
Yep.
So that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. You did not watch the lowering of the shoe or the lowering of the pirate or lowering of whatever else, the conch shell? I
literally missed the countdown to New Year's, and I was like sort of paying attention. It was like 11:45. I like took a shower. It was just me and the dogs hanging out here. And I was like, I got distracted with something on my computer, and then all the dogs started barking, and I look over, and it's like 12 o'clock in 1 second because neighbors started shooting off fireworks and then the dogs started barking. So I caught it. I caught the New Year because of the fireworks.
Assisted by the dogs.
I did not watch anything, no.
Fair enough.
Yeah. German word of the week. And we've had a lot of German.
Yeah. The other thing, I mean, we could talk about this. There's a bunch of TikToks about this now too, but lüften is a big thing in Germany. You rip open all the windows like in the morning, and you keep them open as long as possible, and there's always windows
COVID.
up. And
yeah, it's interesting because you guys are anti-breeze.
If you're in a heating crisis, it's complete. You're absolutely right that you open one window and that's lüften, and you open 2 windows and everyone goes, oh, it's bad for your neck. I think you're going to get like cramps in your back. It's zieht, which means there's a wind current. That's really bad for you.
You guys.
You're going to get die. You're going to die from wind.
Not this trip, but one time a few trips ago, Ingo went to Germany, and he and his dad went rowing, like Olympic rowing, but casually, but that kind of boat.
But in a double, yeah.
Out in the Bodensee, and Ingo was like, called me after he went rowing, and he's like, my back's kind of sore, my lower back's kind of sore, and I was like, oh, and Ingo goes, I think it's maybe because we had the windows cracked in the car and a draft was blowing on my back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck is wrong wrong with you? Like, what, you're just into like folk magic health remedies at this point? Do you think it's because like you maybe went rowing for the first time in like 4 years? That couldn't be the thing that made your back a little sore. No, it's a draft that somehow like from touching the air touching your skin in the car has like made you
causes cramps. It causes cramps.
like, what's wrong? When did you become like this weird right-wing anti-science like freak?
This was like 6 years ago. This
I'm
was well before.
Mad about it. I'm still mad that like after 4 or 5 days of influence of this crazy ass draft is gonna hurt you bullshit that you're like, maybe the draft is what hurt me.
Cramp. I think I cramped.
You literally were like, I think it's because there was a draft. And I'm like, I will not be married to a person who thinks a draft
cramps Germany. Because it seems to be widespread in the people that I hang out with.
Yeah, the 80-year-olds that you hang out with.
So it's okay to open. It's mandatory to open one window, but if you open two, it will kill you. Also, for a country that's like complaining about the energy crisis and how they have no oil and gas anymore because the Russians are shutting it off.
Fucking Russians.
And how expensive all the heating is. Having a window open when it's minus 2 degrees outside seems like a very bad strategy to keep your house warm. And yet,
I mean, it is good for the COVID, though, to get some fresh air through there.
That's not why they're doing it. This goes way back.
Just saying.
Yeah, sure. Lüften. Wir müssen lüften. And you hang like the pillows out the window.
Kind of like
stuff.
airing out.
It's airing out, but it's like, man, you do it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I like lüften. I like having a window open in the winter. Even if it's in Maryland and it's cold, I like to have like the bedroom window cracked. And then the heat up to make it warm, but I like the fresh air coming through. I support the Luft in German.
But you don't mind opening 2 windows.
No, that's true.
I mean, we had this exact scene on New Year's. I'm not making this up.
No. You didn't tell me
it was
this
like
part.
super hot because the fireplace was on and I was wearing my nice German sweater. And so like one window was open, that was agreed. And then I would occasionally be like, it is boiling in here. I'm opening another window because I want to lower the temperature. And everyone's like, oh. And immediately everyone like stopped talking, turned around and was like, oh, seat. I can feel the breeze. Somebody close that window. Close that other window. Like 4 people were like, yeah, a seat. We're all going to die. Close the window.
I don't understand how
It'll get really hot again.
How you just go along with this. I mean, that's why I can't go on this, right?
I drank a lot. I mean, yeah.
I like on one hand, I think you're a better person than me because you can just kind of tamp it down.
I don't think I am. I don't think so.
I'm so angry. I wasn't even there, and I'm so angry. Yeah. All right, it's time for Ingo Corner. You got anything else you want to add?
Oh, the other word I did learn. This Lüften was more part of the ramblings. Enkeltrick is a new thing over there, or at least a term I hadn't heard before. Enkeltrick.
I don't know what that means.
Enkel is your grandson or granddaughter, grandchild, and it's just the scam that has gone around here too, where someone called you on the phone. I mean, I think it exists in email too, and says they're your grandchild and they got robbed and they need money, or they lost their wallet on travel and they need money, and just wire it to them or send them here Walmart gift cards or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And that apparently is going around again, and people are like, I can't believe no one's heard of this. You know, we've been talking about this for a while. Don't send money to strangers whom you think might be, you know, your family member.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, oh yeah, it's very tricky. I was like, I don't even answer my phone. This couldn't happen to me. I said, this is like the Nigerian prince thing. And they're like, Nigerian prince? What's that about? So, Enkeltrick. Pretending you're someone's, you know, niece or nephew or grandchild. Right.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Ingo Corner, you can talk about whatever you want. I promise not to rant about Germans. You can say whatever you want, and I'll just be like, interesting.
No, I mean, my only, you know, new insight is that I am realizing again that this is not representative of all Germans. These are weird, quirky little things that some Germans have done in some parts of the country for some parts of their lives, but that doesn't mean they're, as exposed to it as I was, or that nobody has changed, unlike my family.
Interesting.
Yes, my sample size is bad and self-limiting. Small and self-limiting.
Interesting.
And yet, it wasn't... When I'm over there, I'm not like visiting Germany. I'm just visiting my family, right? And I'm realizing those are two vastly different things, right? We almost never go sightseeing. We did go to Trio. We looked at a few things, but everything was closed there.
Huh.
Except the actual Roman ruins. You could look at them from the outside. Not from the inside, though. The Wurst stand was open, so we did have some Bratwurst. Bratwurst! Forgot that in my list of wursts. But yeah, I'm happy to be back here. Happy to be nice and warm in the Keys. And everything is a lot easier in here than it is in the small towns that I visited.
Interesting.
Huh. You're being very restrained. I appreciate it.
Anything else for Ingo Corner?
I just appreciate all the Christmas cards and gifts, but also Christmas cards. It's just so nice to read about all these nice people that follow us, and
you guys are so nice. Thanks.
care about our dogs, and everyone seems to be doing great things and doing a great job. You guys are all doing good stuff.
Yep.
You seem nice. It's true.
Indeed.
Yeah. So that's my usual comment, but I do feel like that.
That's great.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening and enduring GR Mom's rants. Just imagine how bad it would be to live with me. And
you seem cold. You should put some socks on. Here, I made you some wool socks.
And until next time, Slava Ukraini, and don't put anyone in Leslie Esker too.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.